This is a J Mix exclusive.
Now, this more led into a lot of more production with Tupac. Can you, and I know you've probably been asked this a million times, but can you tell the fans how you met Tupac and your first impression of Tupac?
Well, me now, and that's what I forgot to tell you too. Like, remember, wasn't no big money running around back when we were producing for Pac. I mean, for Shock and all that. So the first time, when we went to Oakland, I didn't go, but my brother went. You know, my brother was out there, and we was out here. So he met Pac before I met Pac. He met Pac in like '89. You know, I met Pac in '90, the next year, when we had a show to do in California. I think because we were signed to No Face, which is Ed Lover's label. It was a No Face Def Jam split. You know, No Face Def Jam, and we was artists on No Face. You know what I'm saying? So they had to they did a what's that, like a what kind of show is that, like when you showcasing your label getting ready to come out, you know, a showcase, I guess. They did a show, a release party, yeah. So they brought us out there to perform, and we did the show. With that matter of fact, the same day Dre slapped D Barnes from Pump It Up. Do you remember that? Do you recall that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, that party right there was the first time we ever performed, and that's the day I met Tupac. Like, it was like I knew him already, but that's when I first time I actually met him. And he was so happy for us, man, when we got off the stage, jumping all over us and shit. It was like I already knew him, you know what I'm saying? Like it was like a automatic connect, you know what I'm saying? So, and that's how that went.
Do you remember the first track that you worked on with Tupac?
The first track we did was the first tracks we did was off the Tupacalypse Now album. We did Crooked Ass Niggas, and it was history from there.
Now, we've heard a little bit about a production company called Thug Music. Now, was that a byproduct of people coming to Tupac for beats? I mean, can you explain to us how that happened? Was Tupac selling your beats for you, or how did that happen?
Yeah, I mean something like that. You know, he was hot, so you know when you hot, you cash in on your hotness. You know what I'm saying? So people would come to him like, yo, I need a beat or whatever. And he would tell them, yeah, I got beats. And we was only charging him 7,000 back then. So, but he was hot. He could charge 15, 20,000, give us our 7,000 and pocket the rest, you know? So he started his production company, Thug Music. And anytime anybody wanted a track from him, per se, he would come to us. We would give him the deal by the beat, and he'll sell them the beat. You understand? And that's how that went.
Now, did the people buying the beats, did they think that Tupac was producing them?
I don't think they cared. They just wanted to do business with Tupac and be able to say they did business with Tupac. Like, all right, for instance, the Above the Rim movie, they wanted him on the song, right? They wanted him on the song
Yeah.
for the soundtrack. So we did the song, right? And they told him, yo, we'll give you 30,000 for a track on the soundtrack. So he got a beat from us, and we split the 30,000. You understand?
Wow. Is I mean that sounds like something that's kind of uncommon in the music industry. So Tupac was pretty fair across the board
Yeah,
with splitting the money and making sure you guys were taken care of for the music.
yeah, exactly. That's
What do
my
you,
brother.
what do you think? Because there's a biopic going on, and there's a lot of misconceptions about him. What do you think that people's biggest misconception was about Tupac?
People's biggest misconception is listening to the media, and sometimes I ain't even gonna lie, that's my brother and everything, listening to him. He's not here no more to correct some of the mistakes or some of the things that he would take back. You know what I'm saying? So people are running on that, where you really got to run on the closest people around him. Get interviews from the closest people that was around him. I ain't talking about the death row days. I'm talking about go to before he was the icon, before all of that, up until before he got to death row. You got to get around all of those people. You got to go to all those neighborhoods he was living in and talk to those people out there. That's when you know the real Tupac. You know what I'm saying? People reading blogs and reading, taking shit from the media. That's not the straight truth. You know, everything is not the straight truth in the media. But they got it, like, when it comes to, a lot of people got a lot of dead on about him, but you'll never be dead on to a person that really knows him and was around him. You know what I'm saying? So.
Absolutely. I think people forget that Tupac was only on death row for 8 months.
Exactly.
Now,
He was all of that, to say, though. He was a rebel. You know what I'm saying? He was a rebel. He was a poet. You know what I'm saying? He was a real MC. But the gangster street element part, that wasn't him. You know what I'm saying? He was gathering his soldiers. You know what I'm saying? Those are the gangsters. You know what I'm saying? He was gathering his soldiers for whatever he was gathering them up for. You know what I'm saying? He was on the streets, but he wasn't doing street shit. You know what I'm saying? That's how come he never really said that he was a gangster. You know what I'm saying? He was just like us. Even though we was out here on the street doing everything, that he would say would be gangster, but we never even claimed we was gangster. I know I looked up to people, that I thought was gangsters. I done seen them argue amongst themselves and be like, yo, come on, you coming at me like that, and you're gonna hear some gangster shit. And I heard a nigga come right back at him, yo, I ain't no gangster. Gangsters is dead or in jail. Like, once I heard that from niggas I look up to, I never claimed gangster. You know what I'm saying? So when Pac heard me and my brother say that, like, I ain't no gangster. Gangsters dead on the jail. That was like lit something in his brain, because in L.A., California, it's all about being G'd up. Everything is gangster. That's how come he couldn't really, like, because Big Syke and all of them, they had a group called Evil Minded way before Pac blew up. They got Pac on videos and songs. Pac got the dashiki on. He never changed. He stayed him. Remember, he come up under the Panthers. You know what I'm saying? Even though they are what they are, but they still preach what they preach, and they got their own principles. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't with that drug dealing shit. They wasn't with, you know what I'm saying, degrading the neighborhood and all of that. So he had a whole nother, you know what I'm saying, attitude towards shit. He never judged nobody because he's out there with them, but he did him, and they, you know what I mean? So that's how come he ain't never claimed being a gangster. You know what I'm saying? He never hopped on the song. I mean, he never, he stayed him on the songs with Syke and them on the Evil Minded. He stayed himself. You know what I'm saying? So when we lit that torch in his brain, you know what I'm saying that, yo, we ain't no gangsters. Gangsters get on jail, man. We thugs. You know what I'm saying? That lit something. That enabled him to be able to say all types of hard shit that people might say is gangster without saying he's gangster. And that's how Thug Life was created. You understand?
yes, sir. So, in your opinion, he was trying to unite black artists at a time where the music industry was racist.
Exactly. I mean, something towards that. He was really just trying to get all of his people he feel don't know what's going on. So he's trying to wake them up. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't talk to them and contradict himself. You know what I'm saying? So the thug thing is like that cleans all of that up. He could talk all of that, and they can't say he's contradicting himself because he's saying, I'm not a gangster, I'm a thug. You know what I'm saying? So that was just a tool for him to get to the people that he couldn't really get to. Like, you know, Public Enemy, they got a lot of followers, and people love Public Enemy, but there's a lot of people that didn't because, you know, they was preaching, positive, all of that type of stuff. And there's some people that you got to go at them a different way to wake them up. You can't preach at them. You know what I'm saying? You got to show them that I'm the same person as you. You know what I'm saying? And that's where the thug thing came in with Pac, and he reached an audience that Chuck D couldn't reach. You understand? Yeah.
I gotta ask, how did you feel hearing Eminem's version of Tupac songs on "Loyal to the Game"?
I was kind of, because there's a lot of songs that got done over, and everybody was like just doing songs. Just they wanted to just be able to do a song with Pac where they was overlooking the material that they was tampering with. You know what I'm saying? Like Pain, not Pain from Above the Rim, House of Pain. That was a song for Biggie's album, right? My brother,
yes,
he's gone. Tupac is gone. Biggie is gone, right? My brother and Biggie is collaborating their rhymes together, going back and forth, right? So, and you got to respect the dead. That's all I'm saying. But Eminem, I wasn't really as mad at him, you know what I'm saying, because he didn't really know my brother. But Busta Rhymes and other people that, took House of Pain and took the other songs that my brother's on there with Pac and took his verse off and put themselves there. That's like, going to Mount Rushmore and taking one of the president's face and put your face there. Like, that's not cool, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't respect that. But, money rules over everything where we live in the days we living in now. So nigga just had to take it, But when it comes to artistry, I don't respect people for doing that because my brother's not here no more. You know what I'm saying? Let his legacy stay the way it was. You know what I'm saying? That's all he got left for his kids to know, and you know what I'm saying, for the people that don't know better, and you know what I'm saying. So that's how that's my take on that one. But I didn't really feel, I wasn't mad at Eminem. I'm just mad that he didn't know the history. Because Puff, he never touched House of Pain. Even when it leaked out, he left it exactly the same. He left my brother on there. It's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. I've heard you speak on one of your favorite songs being Holler If You Hear Me. This is credited to your brother Stretch. Was this a joint collaboration between you and your brother, the production on that song?
Holler If You Hear Me, well, Live Squad is the producers. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know where people start separating everything. Like Bomb Squad, Keith Shockley and Hank Shockley. Ain't nobody ever say who did it, Keith or Hank. You know what I'm saying? The Bomb Squad is the Bomb Squad. So Live Squad is Live Squad. I don't never, you know what I'm saying? But Holler If You Hear Me was for Pac's first album. That was strictly for my niggas album. And we produced it, and that was in the mix of the Rodney King thing, and Pac went real hard on that. He went real hard where the label was like, no, you went too crazy on that. He was going at everybody, and they did that one didn't make the album, so we had to remix it, and that's how y'all got the Holler If You Hear Me that y'all know now. But we featured on the first one, the original Holler If You Hear Me. We featured on it, we produced it, and it was too crazy, so it didn't make the album. We had to remix it, and that's how all of this came about.